Hello. Climbing the Corbett tops isn't always about the glamour days. Sometimes it's just about joining the dots. We're at Lochain on the west side of the Meall, just east of Loch Ness, to climb 5 tops in total, 2 Corbett tops and 3 supplementary tops, each of which is on a different parent Corbett. Today's route is in 5 sections, 3 on the bike and 2 on foot. The first section is a 5 kilometre, roughly 3 mile cycle south on the east side of Lochain, along what used to be the old public road. And then we're heading east up Mharcanach on foot to take in the supplementary top of Mharcanach C.Top, and then heading northeast for the Corbett tops of Mharcanach C.Top and Mharcanach E.Top. And then heading back down Glenmarkie to the west to pick up the bike again, and then heading south and then west for about 10 kilometres, so just over 6 miles, and then on foot again, heading to the southwest, taking the supplementary tops of Sìdhean, Cloiche, Bàine and Meall and Lochain, and then retracing steps back to the bike again for the final 15 kilometres, roughly about 9.5 miles, to the east and then back to the north end of Lochain, completing the route for today. So that's the first leg completed on the bike. Now it's Strawnlarrig. Last time I was here, quite a few years ago now, Strawnlarrig Lodge was also here, but it's no more. So just about to head east up Glenmarkay to get to the first 3 tops of the day, all with a Mharcanach in the title. They're all tops on the Corbett of Carnasalvie. On the first summit of the day, a Mharcanach S.Top, 760 metres, 2,493 feet, the horse place. It's the first of 3 tops today on the Corbett Carnasalvie. You can see the other 2 in the background, which are a Mharcanach Central Top and a Mharcanach East.Top. They're both Corbett tops. The one I'm on just now is a supplementary top. And the other tops we've got today are also supplementary tops. One of which is on the parent Corbett Meall and the other on the parent Corbett Bàine. They're actually very close together, and we'll be taking the bike up onto the moor using the sort of infrastructure roads to get really close to both these tops. That's a bit later this afternoon though, so we're just heading over for second top of the day now, which is a Mharcanach Central Top. On the second top of the day, a Mharcanach Central Top, 791 metres, 2,595 feet, and it's the second of 3 tops on the Corbett Carnasalvie that we're doing today. The final top of the day on Carnasalvie is in the background. That's a Mharcanach East Top, just 1 metre lower than the top we're on just now. And then attention turns to the final two tops of the day, the two supplementary tops I've got a bit later on. You can see in the distance the high Cairngorms, still quite a lot of snow on them. We'll be heading over to there in future episodes, quite a number of episodes in the Cairngorms to do. So going to head over now to Mharcanach E.Top and then drop back down to Glenmarquay and head back to the bike. So on the summit of Mharcanach E.Top, 790 metres, 2,591 feet. You could just see the parent Corbett in the background, Carnasauvie, and a fantastic panorama from here, round to the western side of the High Cairngorms, Sgurgu, heading round to the Corbett tops at the back of Carngerrig, the Munro. There's a lot of those. You can see in the distance Binalder, looking all the way around to the Grey Corries, just make out Nevis Range. You can see all the way down there to the hills of Ardgour, and then heading up the Great Glen, the African Strathfarrar Hills, and then I think Ben Wyvis just about in the background. So fantastic stuff. We're going to head down now into Glenmarquay, back to the bike, and then take that up onto the moorland that heads over to the two supplementary tops we've still got to do today. Back of the track at Strawnlarrig. We've got a 10-kilometre bike ahead now. The first 4 kilometres, about 2.5 miles is southeast, and climbs about 300 metres or about 1,000 feet. So to be honest, most of that will be pushing, and then heading east at over 2,000 feet altitude for about 6 kilometres, just under 4 miles. Should be able to cycle that bit, and that'll take us to the end of the track nearby the final two tops for today. So completed the second cycle, the 10-kilometre mountain bike from the end of Glenmarkie up to where we're leaving the bike to head off to do the final two supplementary tops of the day. We're at Turbine 42, leave the bike there and head off to the first of the two supplementary tops, Sìdhean na Cloiche Bàine. Shouldn't take very long at all. Weather's starting to turn a little bit, the kind of watery sun and the sort of familiar uniform grey that is definitely going to be rain a bit later, so should have enough time to complete the two supplementary tops we've still got to do, and then the 15-kilometre, just over 15-kilometre or about 9.5 mile bike back to the north end of Lochain. On the penultimate top of the day now. It's the second of the supplementary tops we're doing today. Sìdhean na Cloiche Bàine, Black Fairy Hill of the White Stone, 757 metres, 2,483 feet. It's the joint lowest height of top that we're doing in the series. It's a supplementary top of the Corbett Meall that you can see in the background, and we're just heading over to final top of the day, Meall and Lochain, which you can just see in the background there. On the last top of the day, Meall and Lochain, 759.2 metres, 2,490 feet, hill of the Black Lochain. You just see it there in the background, the Black Lochain. And it's a supplementary top of the Corbett Bàine, which you can see in the background there. And between the top we just did Sìdhean na Cloiche Bàine, just in the background there. And this top is the watershed between the Corbetts of Meall and Bàine. So two supplementary tops close together, which are on different Corbetts. So heading back to the turbine number 42, which is the nearest one just behind the top in the background, back to the bike, and then it's a just over 15-kilometre, about 9.5 mile cycle. Mainly downhill or on the flat, a couple of false flats in there as well, just for interest, back to the north end of Lochain. So back at the bike, just about to take the track east and then north for 15 kilometres but 9.5 miles to the north end of Lochain. Mostly downhill, wind's behind me largely, so it won't take too long. Hopefully I can stay just ahead of the rain. Last time I was up in this area was actually about 25 years ago, before the Dubh hydro scheme and the Strawnlarrig wind farm were here, so a wee bit different this time, but making the most of the renewables infrastructure to make faster progress back to Lochain. So back at the north end of Lochain, excellent day, just about 9 hours or so, including about 19 miles, 30 kilometres on the bike and 5 tops. It's been quite a niche episode. The 2 Corbett tops and Mharcanach just qualify under the 50 feet criteria for the series, and the other 3 tops are all supplementary tops just under 2,500 feet, so a little bit specialist. Anyway, thanks for watching, hope you can join me again for episode 9, and until then, cheerin' drast. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider donating to your local mountain rescue team. Don't forget to hit subscribe.